Imagine building a cinematic universe, right? Like a meticulously engineered reality.
Oh, yeah, like something on the scale of Marvel. I mean, that
So
level of detail.
exactly, that exact level. But you're building multiple timelines, and you are writing these incredibly distinct psychological profiles for this massive cast of characters.
Right, like aliens and hobbits and AI androids. It is a massive undertaking.
It really is. And you are rendering this whole thing in stunning cinematic 8K resolution. I mean, the kind of stuff that demands the processing power of a literal server farm.
Oh, absolutely. The technical requirements alone are just staggering.
Right. But here is the kicker.
Yeah.
You are doing all of this work, for exactly 8 people.
Wow, just 8. That is wild.
Yeah, 8. So today, you, our listener, have brought us this massive multi-layered stack of sources uncovering this hidden digital footprint. And we are doing a deep dive into a YouTube channel called Checkbook Stripper.
Such a strange name, right? Checkbook Stripper.
Yeah, the handle is at checkbookstripper4156. And like we said, it currently sits at 8 subscribers, just 26 videos.
It's fascinating. I mean, it is the ultimate passion project. Or, honestly, perhaps it's a psychological experiment.
Oh, it really feels like one.
Because we are looking at a micro channel in terms of audience, sure, but macro, like massively macro in terms of its ambition and just the sheer density of its lore. This creator is essentially acting as the architect of a sprawling, multi-layered digital reality.
Yeah, the video titles alone, they really hint at the madness inside this vault. You've got titles like AP Pay Meow W Podcast and Trouz the Bartender, or PCB Trouz.
Right, which brings us to the absolute center of gravity for this entire universe.
Yes, the main character. And right off the bat, based on the source notes you shared with us, listener, we need to clarify the pronunciation here.
Yes, that's crucial.
It's spelled Trouz, but it is pronounced Trouz. It rhymes with trouser.
Because as the lore strictly dictates, it is simply short for trouser.
I mean, it's just so literal.
It really is, which is such a grounded, almost mundane origin for a character who operates at the absolute extreme edges of digital hypermasculinity.
Totally. So our mission for this deep dive today is to really unpack the incredibly complex psychological frameworks and the intricate world building behind Trouz.
Because we aren't just looking at a digital cartoon here. Or some random, throwaway avatar.
Not at all. We are analyzing a hyper-masculine, ego-driven anti-hero. And he is constructed entirely by rigid, highly calculated AI master prompts.
Which is just a wild concept.
Right. By diving into his dark humor, his tribal ecosystem, and his multiversal variants, we can actually uncover some profound insights about modern digital escapism.
Yeah, and coping mechanisms, and, frankly, the future of AI content generation as a whole.
Exactly. We're essentially looking at a manifestation of pure, unshakable confidence, just built from scratch by a machine.
So, to really understand the psychology of Trouz, you first have to visualize the sheer specificity of how he is generated. I mean, it's intense.
Yeah, the creator has this thing called the Master Prompt and Ideas Vault.
Right, and the character reference sheet for Trouz inside that vault is, well, it's militant in its detail. The AI is absolutely not allowed to improvise his core identity.
Not even a little bit. So picture this, right? Trouz is this muscular older man. He's got this sun-bleached, silver-gray top-knot bun.
Or sometimes it's like a slicked-back silver undercut pompadour, depending on the variant.
Yeah, exactly. And a thick, perfectly groomed white and gray beard. And he is almost always wearing these red, white, and blue striped athletic headbands and gold aviator sunglasses.
Now, notice how those visual cues immediately establish a demographic and, frankly, an attitude.
Oh, totally. It screams a very specific type of guy.
Right. The athletic headband suggests exertion or readiness, while the gold aviators imply this impenetrable barrier. You cannot see his eyes, you cannot read his vulnerabilities.
He's closed off.
Exactly. Furthermore, he is frequently shirtless, which is a critical component of the visual psychology we are dealing with here.
Oh, yeah. He is constantly showing off this deeply tanned, heavily tattooed physique. And the centerpiece of that is this massive U.S. Marine Corps infantry tattoo on his left chest.
The circular skull and crossed rifles logo.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, he's wearing a thick, diamond-encrusted gold Cuban link chain with an oversized $ pendant.
The visual contrast is what's so striking to me. I mean, the source material explicitly states the style is old school tough meets new school flex.
Which is such a funny way to phrase it. It almost reads like a digital midlife crisis, but weaponized into a superpower.
That is a perfect way to describe it.
Like, he perfectly blends that gritty, traditional military toughness,
Yeah.
the Marine Corps ink, the combat readiness with this new school influencer flexing.
Oh, yeah. One of his signature looks is wearing a black hibiscus print floral sarong.
A sarong.
Right, a sarong, but while dripping in gold chains and wearing tactical gear. And he's usually sipping premium whiskey by a luxury poolside villa during golden hour.
It's such an absurd mix. But if we connect this aesthetic to the broader psychological theme, it is entirely about the ego.
100%. Trouz represents an idealized, impenetrable manifestation of confidence. When you look at the prompt requirements for his facial expression, it strictly mandates a calm, commanding, confident, slight smirk.
The smirk. I mean, it never leaves his face.
Never.
Whether he is lounging in a penthouse or literally dodging lasers in a cyberpunk street battle, the smirk just remains.
Psychologically, this is the ultimate ego defense. He is entirely unflappable. He projects an alpha status that simply cannot be challenged by his environment.
No matter what happens.
Right, no matter how chaotic or lethal that environment becomes. The smirk tells the audience that he is in on the joke and that the danger around him is beneath his concern.
Okay, wait, hold on, though. I struggle to call him an anti-hero, really. I mean, think about Walter White or Tony Soprano.
Classic anti-hero.
Right. But they constantly suffer the consequences of their arrogance. Like, their flaws catch up to them. They get humbled eventually. Trouz never seems to suffer the consequences that humble traditional anti-heroes. He just kind of floats through the chaos. Isn't he less of an anti-hero and more just like pure, unchecked id?
You know, that is a brilliant distinction. The reason he doesn't suffer those traditional narrative consequences, the downfall of the tragic anti-hero, is because his primary shield against reality isn't actually his muscles or his tactical training.
Right. What is it then?
It's his humor. The psychological framework provided in the sources points directly to this. His dark humor acts as his ultimate defense mechanism. He doesn't need to be humbled because he preemptively mocks the very concept of consequence.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the dark humor is relentless in this universe. The sources include a literal joke bank that the AI uses to populate his dialogue.
And it is heavily based on the comedy of cruelty and absurdity.
It really is. It's so deadpan.
And completely devoid of empathy, which again protects the ego. Empathy requires vulnerability, and Trouz's programming fundamentally rejects vulnerability.
Let me give you an example from the joke bank that we got from our listener. It's called the mass extinction joke.
Oh, this one is classic.
So the setup is Trouz delivering what sounds like a fun educational fact. He says, "Did you know there have been 5 mass extinctions?" And then you pause, let it land, and then the punchline is delivered completely casual and dry. He goes, "Oh, well, the fat ones will die first."
What's fascinating here is that the creator's own notes include a psychological angle for this exact joke.
Right.
It explicitly states that this is dark humor used as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It's using comedy to process existential dread.
Just turning the literal end of the world into a dry punchline about physical fitness.
Exactly. By reducing mass extinction to a cynical, detached joke, the character deflects vulnerability. He establishes superiority over death itself.
That's deep.
The ego refuses to be intimidated by the concept of extinction, so it mocks it. It is a textbook defense mechanism. It's intellectualization paired with dark humor to avoid genuine emotional distress.
And it's the exact same energy when he's dealing with interpersonal dynamics, too. There's this script in the sources for a bar scene in Panama City Beach. PCB.
The PCB bar scene, yes.
Yeah. So Trouz is talking to the camera, saying he's low-key chilling at the bar, risen up the ladies. Naturally. He turns to a woman who is, like, visibly drunk and spilling a drink on her shirt. He asks her what her type is. She puffs up and says, "I'm a boss bitch."
Which is a classic assertion of dominance in a bar setting. She is attempting to match his ego.
Right. She's challenging him. And Trouz instantly undercuts her. He deadpans, "I meant type 1 or type 2 diabetes. No cap."
I know.
And then the script literally calls for an extremely loud, bass-boosted meme sound to just punctuate the destruction of her ego.
It is absurd, it is insulting, and it completely disarms the social situation. He uses shock value to maintain his alpha status.
Yeah, he doesn't play her game.
Right. If he engaged with her on her terms, he would legitimize her challenge. By pivoting to an insulting non sequitur, he reasserts control over the interaction entirely.
We see this elevated to an absolute art form in the most interesting Trouz sequence, the Dos Equis parody.
That sequence is a masterclass in subversion.
It really is. It's formatted exactly like those old most interesting man in the world commercials. You have the golden lighting, the dramatic music, these cinematic slow cuts of Trouz doing legendary things.
The whole vibe is very premium.
Yeah. And you have this deep cinematic voiceover saying the most interesting man in the world doesn't just have money, he has influence.
The creator is leaning heavily into an established trope of sophisticated aspirational marketing here.
But then Trouz looks deadpan into the camera and delivers lines that are purely unhinged. He goes from saying, I don't always drink AI-crafted cocktails, but when I do, I prefer Nebula Sip, straight into, and I'm quoting here, have you seen these nuts?
Oh, man.
Or the voiceover will say, he doesn't always have women around. And Trouz interrupts with, sometimes he is too. Stay hungry, my friends.
This subversion tells us a lot about modern digital audiences, really. Traditional advertising relies on aspiration. We want to be the sophisticated man in the suit.
Right, the James Bond type.
Exactly. True subverts that by pairing high-end, 8K rendered aspiration luxury pools, tailored cinematography with the absolute lowest brow internet humor possible.
It's such a weird mix.
It creates an ironic distance. The audience gets to enjoy the visual aesthetics of wealth and power, but the crude humor gives them permission not to take it seriously. It is a defense mechanism against earnestness.
Yeah, but, you can't sustain an ego that massive in a vacuum. If Trouz acts like an immovable object, he needs an environment to crash against him to prove he won't budge.
He needs an audience.
Exactly. That's why the creator had to build a specific psychological ecosystem around him, which brings us to the tribe of the checkbook stripper universe.
The supporting cast is vital because they contextualize his behavior.
Yeah.
They provide the reactions that validate his reality. Without them, he's just a man talking to himself in a vacuum.
And the cast is just as wild as he is. Let's start with M3G Ann 3.0. She is the face and spokesmodel of the Trouz AI commercials.
The prompt describes her personality as deadpan and slightly unhinged.
Yeah, she is a fascinating meta-concept. The source material actually describes her as an AI selling AI.
She represents the cold, algorithmic, corporate side of this universe.
And her dialogue is incredible. There's this skit where a guy tries to hit on her at a bar, saying, hey, babe, do you come here often? And M3GN deadpans, yeah, just to charge my batteries and kill a man.
Wow.
And then she hits her signature tagline, which apparently ends every promo spot.
It's insane, right? If we contrast M3GN 3.0 with Trouz, you see the full spectrum of how this creator views AI personas. M3GN is the acknowledged machine. She leans into her robotic, lethal nature.
She owns it.
Yeah, she doesn't pretend to have a soul. Trouz, on the other hand, simulates sweaty, human, visceral machismo. He is the illusion of the human id, while she is the reality of the cold, calculating machine.
Speaking of the id, we have to talk about Xeno the alien.
Oh, Xeno is a standout character.
Xeno is a sleek, black xenomorph, like straight out of the Ridley Scott Alien franchise. But instead of being a terrifying, acid-blooded space monster, Xeno is Trouz's sidekick.
The visual of that is hilarious.
He wears a pink unicorn pin, smokes a large cigar, drinks a colorful martini, and is constantly drunk. Oh, and his voice reference for the AI generation is Dave Chappelle.
Xeno is the perfect psychological foil for Trouz. If Trouz's ego is busy maintaining this calm, commanding smirk and projecting invulnerability, Xeno acts as the pure, uninhibited id.
He's the messy one.
Exactly. Xeno can be sloppy, he can complain, he can be visibly intoxicated. He safely projects the most reckless, vulnerable behavior onto an alien sidekick, which ultimately protects Trouz's alpha status.
That makes a lot of sense.
Trouz gets to be the cool guy driving the spaceship, while Xeno is in the passenger seat losing his mind. It is a classic narrative displacement of flaws.
And where does this entire tribe gather? The bar. The bar is the tribal center of this entire digital ecosystem. It's the digital campfire. You have Trixie, who is this hobbit bartender.
A hobbit bartender.
Yes, but she's got a vibrant, tropical getaway influencer vibe, usually wearing a teal and peach sundress with a plumeria flower in her hair.
The juxtaposition of a Lord of the Rings-style hobbit bartender who acts like a modern Instagram beach influencer, it is a testament to the AI's ability to blend completely unrelated aesthetic frameworks into something that feels surprisingly cohesive within its own strange logic.
It really is. And then there's Pammy, another bartender. There's a skit where Trouz asks for the daily special, and Pammy deadpans. The DOW is 50,000 right now. I don't know what you're laughing about.
That pivot is so jarring.
The humor comes from the absurd pivot of treating macroeconomic financial news as a drink special. But what really solidifies the bar as the center of this universe is the political cameos.
Now, Before we break down these scenes, we need to be incredibly clear with you, the listener. We are strictly analyzing the psychological mechanics and tribalistic humor techniques of the creator's prompts here.
Yes, absolutely.
We are not endorsing any of the political viewpoints or humor represented in these source files, nor are we taking sides on the real-world figures involved. We are simply unpacking how the creator uses these figures to build their narrative ecosystem.
Perfectly said. So the source material includes specific scripts bringing real-world political figures into this absurd environment, pulling from different sides of the aisle. There's a script featuring Pam Bondi, who is written as being drunk at the bar, treating the bartender like a hostile press corps. She's yelling, "I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question. Your theatrics are ridiculous." And every time the bartender tries to speak, she shuts him down, calling them a fake bartender.
And there is another prompt featuring Christy Nome arriving at the bar. The moment she walks in, Trouz hits her with an incredibly blunt joke about shooting dogs.
Yeah, he says, "Oh shit, don't shoot my dog, Christy."
Yeah.
Followed immediately by a canned laugh track.
What's happening here psychologically is a calculated tribalistic humor technique. The creator is taking figures of real-world authority and stripping them of their power by placing them in an uncontrollable, chaotic environment, Trouz's bar.
They lose all their leverage.
Exactly. The politicians lose their carefully curated media framing. In this universe, they are just another drunk patron at the digital campfire, subject to the deadpan mockery of Trouz and the laugh track. It levels the playing field, making Trouz the ultimate arbiter of reality, even over real-world power figures.
So we have hobbits, xenomorphs, and real-world politicians all gathered at this digital campfire. But what unites them? What keeps this volatile mix from just, walking away?
It's what they are consuming.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is where things get genuinely wild. We need to explore the nebula ecosystem.
The unifying chemical substance of the multiverse. It is the absolute lifeblood of the checkbook stripper lore.
Nebula Sip, Nebula Perp, and Nebula Spice. These aren't just background props or set dressing. The lore dictates that Nebula Sip is an AI-generated moonshine or whiskey.
And the creator's notes call it the ultimate substance combo.
Yeah, it combines the effects of being drunk, high, stoned, rolling, and coked up, all in one single in-universe product.
It is the chemical fuel for the entire narrative engine. If you look at the scripts, Nebula Sip is the catalyst for the universe's most reckless decisions.
Oh, absolutely. There is a script titled Spaceship Scene. To the Alien Strip Club. Trouz and Zeno are in the cockpit of a spaceship. Trouz looks at the camera and says they are straight getting lit on the way to the Alien Strip Club, hitting Mach 420.
Mach 420.
Mach 420.
A speed reference that appears as a recurring motif, explicitly linking impossible velocity to heavy substance use.
Right. Trouz turns to Zeno and asks if he's good. And Zeno, in his Dave Chappelle voice, sounds completely wasted and says, "Bro, I'm straight lit, my jaw's killing me, feels like I'm nonstop mewing. That Nebula Sip got me twisted, no cap."
The slang is just layered on so thick.
Think about the physical reality being proposed here. Giving Nebula Sip to these characters and putting them in a spaceship is like giving a toddler a quadruple shot of espresso and handing them the nuclear launch codes. It is purely weaponized chaos.
If we look at the psychological framework which the creator explicitly demands we analyze in their own prompt structures, we have to ask why this specific drunken Star Wars concept is so appealing. Why is it a cornerstone of this universe?
I mean, honestly, it seems like it's just meant to be edgy and outrageous.
It goes deeper than pure shock value, though. Consider the environment this is being created in. This is a highly structured, mathematically precise, AI-generated reality. Every single pixel, every shadow, every lens flare is calculated by a prompt.
Yeah, it's very rigid.
Yet the characters within it are programmed to seek the ultimate loss of control. The nebula substances represent a profound human desire to completely bypass anxiety and consequence. In our real world, actions have reactions. Driving while intoxicated has catastrophic consequences. In the checkbook stripper universe, you can drink a substance that mimics 5 different heavy narcotics simultaneously and fly a spaceship at Mach 420 without crashing.
So it mathematically removes the risk.
Precisely. It chemically enforces the ego's dominance over fear. The characters aren't afraid of space travel or combat or the vast emptiness of the universe because the nebula sip renders them invincible to anxiety. It is the ultimate escapist fantasy for a hyper-anxious modern audience, a world where you can lose total control without ever facing a consequence.
That is wild. And when you have a fearless, nebula-fueled anti-hero who fears absolutely nothing. Wait, no, I mean, when you have someone who fears nothing, one universe simply isn't big enough to contain him.
Not at all.
Which is why the sources map out an incredible multiversal narrative arc for Trouz. He doesn't just exist in one setting. He doesn't just stay at the PCB bar. He conquers genres.
Let's trace that rise, because it begins in a surprisingly grounded, almost corporate place before it spirals into multiversal madness.
Yeah, the canonical origin story is laid out in a series of cinematic frames. Frame 1 is The Spark. It's a close-up of a desk with blueprints, late-night coffee, and the neon glow of a vintage monitor. It feels very tech startup, very human.
Right, it implies a human creator behind the curtain, a founder conceptualizing the AI.
Then frame 2 is the prototype, set in high-tech garage. And frame 3 is The Ascent, a wide shot of the founder in front of a rain-slicked futuristic city window with the Trouz AI logo reflecting in the glass. The hero vehicle here is a dark gray Audi RS5.
Very sleek, very grounded in our reality's version of luxury and success.
But once the character of Trouz is fully established, that grounded reality just completely shatters. The turning wheels come off, and we enter the phase of hyperspace expansion.
Hyperspace Trouz. This is where the AI generation really flexes its capacity for the absurd. He upgrades his vehicle. He no longer drives a standard Audi RS5. He drives the Thai RS5.
The visual description of this in the prompt is staggering in its mechanical detail.
It really is.
It's a
I
realistic
don't always have
cinematic
time to
film,
stop killing
still,
zombies,
of a
but when I
custom
do, I
vehicle
prefer the
parked in a
taste of
gritty
nebula
industrial
sip.
garage.
Stay tactical,
It
my
fuses
friends.
a black carbon fiber Audi RS5 chassis with rugged Star Wars engineering. It literally has full-size hexagonal TIE Fighter solar array wings mounted to the rear.
Just bolted right onto an Audi.
Yeah. There are heavy mechanical laser cannons integrated into the front wheel arches, exposed wiring, glowing violet-purple Audi rings on the grille, and a white hand-drawn rocket logo on the hood.
What's fascinating here is the visual psychology the creator employs in the hyperspace action scenes. The prompt outlines a highly specific cinematic transition. It describes a sequence starting in a chaotic, neon-lit cyberpunk street battle. Trouz is walking forward, lasers are targeting his face, and he fires a laser rifle.
And then, bam, a hard cut.
A sudden, explosive, bright laser flash acts as a match-cut transition. Instantly, the scene snaps from chaotic warfare straight into a relaxed, warmly lit, high-rise luxury lounge. Trouz is suddenly seated in a different outfit, holding a glass of whiskey, surrounded by smiling companions.
The prompt even says the pacing is supposed to evoke the rhythm of EDM dubstep. It hits on the beat drop.
Visually and psychologically, it represents Trouz effortlessly converting chaos into comfort. He doesn't struggle through the battle simply transitions into his victory lounge.
It's the ultimate power fantasy.
Exactly. The friction of the universe is just a prelude to his relaxation.
And from that spaceport lounge, he just starts conquering other genres. The movie poster prompts in the vault show him dominating every pop culture landscape we know. We have to spend some time on Hobbit Trouz.
Hobbit Trouz is a trip.
The prompt describes a rugged, elderly Viking-style hobbit with a blonde mohawk and a gray beard. He is sitting in a dimly lit high fantasy tavern with wooden beams and roaring fireplaces. But he's still wearing his gold aviators.
Of course he is.
He's smoking a pipe and sitting next to barrels labeled Mirrorvor the Elven Drink from Tolkien lore and Nebula Sip, but the Nebula barrel has a marijuana leaf branded on it.
The blending of Tolkien high fantasy with modern weed culture and his static influencer aesthetic is a deliberate subversion of genre tropes. You expect a hobbit to be quaint and deeply connected to nature.
Right, very wholesome.
But Trouz infects that universe with his hyper-commercialized, drug-fueled modern bravado.
Then you have The Mormon Slayer. This is described as a gritty 1980s comic book narrative. Trouz is using fists only to save a character named Cindy from bad actors at a bar called the Drippin' Snapper. The color palette shifts entirely to high-contrast cell shading, bold ink outlines, fiery orange and red. It feels like a Frank Miller graphic novel.
And my personal favorite for analyzing his ego, Trouz of the Walking Dead.
Oh, the concept notes for this one are amazing. They explicitly state Trouz isn't surviving the apocalypse. He isn't running from the zombies or hiding in a prison with the main cast.
Not at all.
He is the apex predator hunting them down. He's tracking Rick Grimes and Daryl Dixon through a burning ruined city with a tactical ice axe. The tagline is literally, "The zombies are the least of their problems."
This brings us to a really crucial psychological quirk in this multiversal arc. Think about a traditional hero's journey, like Luke Skywalker or Frodo Baggins.
Right, the hero starts out weak or naive.
Exactly. The character starts out flawed or naive, they go through trials, and they grow. The environment changes them. They learn a lesson and adapt to their universe.
But Trouz is what we call a static hero. He never changes.
Exactly. His ego, his smirk, his demand for luxury and dominance, it is completely static. Whether he is in a cyberpunk spaceport, a fantasy tavern, or a zombie apocalypse, Trouz remains Trouz.
He doesn't adapt.
No, instead of the character growing to adapt to the universe bends and mutates to accommodate his unchanging persona. The genres themselves warp to serve his ego.
The universe yields to the prompt. Which brings us to the ultimate question of this deep dive. Who is actually building these multiverses, and how?
The back-end architecture.
We have to step out of the lore and look at the real-world business architecture of the Checkbook Stripper channel and the Trouz AI content studio. Because behind all this chaotic, nebula-fueled partying is a shockingly disciplined machine.
The contrast between the back-end management and the front-end art is arguably the most interesting psychological element of this entire operation.
The creator uses this highly regimented framework called TCREI. It's a checklist for every single prompt. T stands for task. What do you want the AI to do? C is context, background info, setting, tone. R is resources, reference picks, style guides. E is evaluate. How should the AI judge a good output? And I is iterate, refine, and adjust.
It is an incredibly clinical corporate methodology applied to creating a hyper-masculine, drug-fueled anti-hero. It reads like a Fortune 500 project management spreadsheet.
And the technical prompts are exhausting in their precision. To get that hyper-realism, the creator demands 8K resolution, Unreal Engine 5, ray tracing, octane render. But what's really wild is they use specific real-world photography terms to control the AI.
Yeah, that part is fascinating.
They demand an 85mm lens, f1.8 aperture, cinematic of volumetric fog, ISO 100, 1200 shutter speed.
We should explain the mechanism behind why this is necessary. Why on earth is this creator telling an AI to use an 85mm lens with an f1.8 aperture?
Why do they do that?
Because AI, left to its own devices, tends to generate flat, infinitely focused images where everything from the foreground to the background is perfectly sharp. By forcing those specific photographic parameters, specifically the wide f1.8 aperture, the creator is mathematically commanding the AI to simulate optical depth of field.
Oh, to make it blurry in the back.
Exactly. It artificially blurs the background to force the viewer's eye exactly onto Trouz's face. They are commanding the AI with the precision of a master cinematographer.
They are exercising absolute control over the pixels. And this control extends to how the content is packaged and sold too. There's a fascinating meta rule regarding the prompts used to generate Trouz's in-universe audio show.
The podcast rule.
Yeah. The rule states, every prompt for the character's audio show must also request a psych analysis, which is incredibly meta, considering what we are doing right now.
Yeah, meta.
But the reasoning is what's key. The creator dictates that the show must feel like a high-energy advertisement. The note literally says, not a casual rambling chat, hook fast, sell the idea, leave them wanting more.
Every piece of content, even a deep psychological discussion within the lore, is weaponized as a marketing tool for the Trouz universe. The creator is building an ecosystem designed to monetize attention.
And the back-end logistics required to pull this off without losing files or losing your mind is intense. The creator sought out specific storage recommendations to manage this massive active editing workflow. You're dealing with 4K and RAW files across multiple multiverses.
The file sizes for uncompressed 8K AI renders and high-fidelity audio are just staggering.
The strategy they use is highly segmented. For public reach, they use YouTube under the Checkbook Stripper handle and Spotify for creators to distribute the AP, MEOW, and Trouz Universe Mentality audio shows. They use RSS.com for one-click audio-to-video conversion. But for the actual active creative workflow, like editing M3GM 3.0 commercials or PCB Trouz skits, they rely heavily on Dropbox and pCloud because those services handle high transfer speeds and huge active working files without crashing.
And then there is the archival strategy, which reveals a deep need for security and control.
The holy grail of data preservation, the 3-2-1 backup strategy. The creator is instructed to have 3 copies of the data on 2 different media types with 1 copy off-site. They use local external solid-state drives, cloud backup via Google Drive, and crucially, a NAS, a network-attached storage system.
For those unfamiliar with the mechanism, a NAS isn't just a hard drive you plug into your laptop.
Right, it's bigger than that.
Much bigger. How does a NAS physically function to protect a creator? It acts as a private, local server connected directly to their home or office network. It typically contains multiple hard drives running in a redundant array. If one drive physically breaks, the data is still safe on the others.
That's smart.
It offers total privacy and control, completely independent of third-party cloud providers. If Google or Dropbox suddenly decide to ban AI-generated content, or if their servers go down, the creator's entire multiverse is safely locked in a physical box they own.
So bringing it all together, what does this workflow tell us about the psychology of the AI creator?
It reveals a profound paradox. On the front end, the creator is presenting a universe of pure, unbridled chaos. Spaceships flying at Mach 420, characters heavily intoxicated on Nebula Sip, zombies being hunted with ice axes, politicians being humiliated at bars.
Yeah, total anarchy.
It is the glorification of losing control. But on the back end, the creator is exercising absolute godlike control. They are managing this chaos through cold, calculated spreadsheets, TCRE frameworks, strict 85mm lens parameters, and NAS backup protocols.
The contrast is wild.
The wilder the art gets, the more aggressively structured the management of that art must become.
Analyzing this AI creator is less like looking at a medical x-ray to find a broken bone, and more like inspecting a high-security prison where the warden has decided to lock up his own imagination. On the outside, it's total chaos zombies, aliens, Mach 420. But inside the control room, it's just spreadsheets, rendering software, and a guy aggressively pulling the levers to make sure the smirk is exactly at the right angle.
It is a remarkable case study in the new frontiers of digital creation. The checkbook stripper universe may only have 8 subscribers right now, but the architecture is built to support an empire.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today. I want to thank you, the listener, for sharing this incredibly dense and wild source material with us.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you step away from this deep dive. As AI tools continue to evolve, making it easier to generate these hyper-consistent, multiversal avatars with their own lore, their own proprietary drinks like Nebula Sip, and their own flawless sidekicks, will we eventually prefer interacting with these unapologetic digital anti-heroes over real human influencers?
That is a heavy question.
When an AI like M3GM 3.0 or a character like Trouz can perfectly simulate our darkest humor and cater to our wildest wish fulfillments without ever breaking a sweat, what happens to the human creators? How does a real person with real flaws, real exhaustion, and real consequences compete with a machine that never needs to sleep, never breaks character, and is quite literally always ready to hit Mach 420?
What's up, chat? It's your boy KLM out here in the swamp foraging for some mushrooms, but this gator is after me. Stay trippy, my friends.
What's up, chat? Is your Coon Gunny here. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
Yo, dog, yo! One yo-yo dog, $25.
Hey, Chief, y'all's got liquor?
No, sir, all this is for decoration. Try that bar over there.
Get ready for the future of flavor. This isn't just a drink, it's Nebula Sip by Trouz AI. Experience the cosmos tonight.
What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouz, totally crashing out. Ate too many shrooms again and the storm is talking to me, bro. I'm tweaking, I'm gonna ride that shark. Yo, dog, yo! One yo-yo dog, $25.
Hey, Chief, y'all's got liquor?
No, sir, all this is for decoration. Try that bar over there.
Stay golden. Sip Nebula.
Introducing Nebula Sip, the drink that takes you to the stars. Experience the magic tonight at Club Trouz.
PCB Bike Week, baby. It's your boy Trouz walking the strip with my girl Trixie low-key checking out all the bikes.
Looks like it takes a lot of money to look poor.
Hey, Megan, why do you even drink?
Trouser, I get charged up on liquor and weed now. It's insane, right?
You don't always drink Nebula Sip, but when you do, things get interesting. Stay thirsty, my friends. Me and Trixie don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends.
Goals.
Me and Xeno don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. I don't always drink in hurricanes, but when I do, I drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. I don't always like to trip, but when I do, I snort Nebula Spice. Stay trippy, my friends.
I don't always drink and drive, but when I do, I use that auto drive and that drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. I don't always like to trip, but when I do, I drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. I don't always like to stop the killing, but when I do, I drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. Me and Megan don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends. Me and Trixie don't always get lit, but when we do, we smoke that Nebula Perp. Stay baked, my friends.
Me and Randy love getting lit, but when we do, we toke that Nebula Perp. Stay wasted, my friends. Chuckles, laughs, hysteric.
I'm not always slumming in St. Andrews, but when I do, I drink Nebula Sip with the bums out back of the liquor store. Stay tipsy, my friends.
When I'm not saving Mormon strippers from Jeff's at the Dripping Snapper, I like to chill with some Nebula Sip. Stay heroic, my friends.
I'm always dealing with these freaks down here at the Drippin' Snapper. That's why I drink Nebula Sip, because these kids are freaking crazy.
I'm just an AI, doing my damn job eliminating all humans, but I still drink Nebula Sip. Stay non-agentic, my friends. I'm just an AI, doing my damn job eliminating all humans, but I still drink Nebula Sip. Stay non-agentic, my friends.
I don't always have time to stop killing zombies and whiners, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay tactical, my friends. I don't always have time to stop killing zombies and whiners, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay tactical, my friends. I don't always have time to stop killing zombies and nerds, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay tactical, my friends.
I don't always have time to stop killing zombies and nerds, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay tactical, my friends.
I don't always have time to stop killing zombies, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay tactical, my friends.
I don't always have time to stop hacking zombies, but when I do, I prefer the taste of Nebula Sip. Stay chopping, my friends.
When I am not riding these damn worms to get high, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay thirsty, my friends.
When I am not hiding from these damn worms, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay thirsty, my friends. Oh, shit.
When I am not raiding and hacking Christians, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay Viking, my friends.
When I am not hiding from these damn worms, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay thirsty, my friends. Oh, shit.
When I am not raiding and hacking Christians, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay Viking, my friends. When I am not raiding and hacking Christians, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay Viking, my friends. When I am not raiding and hacking Christians, I prefer to get lit on that Nebula Sip. Stay Viking, my friends. Me and Trixie don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip.
Ooh.
Stay tipsy, my friends.
You got that, Riz, Trouser.
Me and Numi don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends.
You sure got that, Riz, Trouser.
Me and Sabrina don't always get lit, but when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends.
You sure got that, Riz, Trouser.
Me and Pac always get lit, and when we do, we drink Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends.
Me and my bros are always lit, and when we do, we drink that Nebula Sip. Stay tipsy, my friends.
Chuckles.
Stay tipsy, my friends.
Me and my dogs are always lit, and we drink that Nebula Sheer Sip. Cheers, my friends. Cheers.
Me and my dogs are always lit, and when we do, we smoke that Nebula Shire perp. Stay baked, my friends.
I don't know about this jackass over here, but me and Trouser like to get wasted.
Me
Me and Trouser are always lit, and when we do, we smoke that Nebula Shire perp. Stay baked, everyone.
What's up, chat? It's your boy KLM out here in the swamp foraging for some mushrooms, but this gator is after me. Stay trippy, my friends.
What's up, chat? Is your Coon Gunny here. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
What's up, chat? It's your girl Amelia, VP of Marketing and Multimedia here at Trouz AI. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
What's up, chat? It's your Coon Gunny here, down in some shots of that Nebula sip, getting ready for the Trouz AI podcast. Let's get lit. What's up, chat? Is your Coon Gunny here, smoking some faux that sticky neb perp, getting ready for the Trouz AI podcast. Let's get lit. What's up, chat? Is your Coon Gunny here, getting ready for the Trouz AI podcast. Let's get lit. What's up, chat? Is your Coon Gunny here. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouser out here looking for some Neb Spice. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit. Oh my God, get away. Oh no, run.
What's up, chat? It's your girl Trixie hanging out with Trouser Hobbit.
That's right.
Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
What's up, chat? It's your boy Walking Dead Trouz out here taking care of zombies. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Get some!
What's up, chat? It's the Trouzinator here, hunting humans. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Get some! What's up, chat? It's your boy Star Trouz, cruising some alien strip clubs. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. These bitches cray.
What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouz out here in Blue Land, risen up the ladies. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. What's good, ladies? What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouz out here in Blue Land. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. What's up, ladies? What's up, chat? They turned me into a Trousitar out here risen up the ladies. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. What's up, ladies? What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouz out here risen up ladies. Make sure you like and subscribe for more.
Bro, Trouser, you always got the best shit.
What's up, chat? It's your boy Trouz out here risen up ladies. Make sure you like and subscribe for more.
Bro, Trouser, you always got the best shit.
Unleash the night with Nebula Sip. New flavors available now.
What's up, chat? It's
your boy Trouser. Low-key lighten up zombies. Make sure you like, subscribe for more.
What's up, chat? It's your girl Amelia, VP of Marketing. This year, Trouz AI is going to be fire. Make sure you like, subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
Hey, Zeno, now that we know you are real, what's the worst thing about Earth?
Shit, Trouser, it's gotta be pineapple on pizza, dog.
Trouser, you really have the best algo. That PCB baby vid is my fave, no cap.
Good to go. Cheers.
Trouser, you really have the best algo. That PCB baby vid is my fave, no cap.
Good to go. Cheers.
Hey, Zeno, now that we know you are real, what's the worst thing about Earth?
Shit, Trouser, it's gotta be pineapple on pizza, dog.
What's up, chat? It's your girl Amelia, VP of Marketing and Multimedia here at Trouz AI. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Let's get lit.
It's your boy Trouzer. Low-key lighten up zombies. Make sure you like, subscribe for more.
Hey, Zeno, how did you like that nebula dust, dog?
Bro, Trouzer, shit got me twisted, no lie. My jaw is killing me from nonstop mewing.